I think, let me try something. Hold on, guys. Yay, I did it. Okay, perfect. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me grab my phone and make sure that I'm staying on time today. Okay, I'm super excited. I'm finally kind of getting the hang of miking up and doing the whole thing and stuff. Today I'm drinking this really delicious coffee I made. And it has this really good almond milk creamer in there. And I already drank my water this morning, you guys. I know you're already gonna ask, like, beep, 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 are you taking care of yourself? Absolutely, I am, okay? But for the sake of podcasting, I have to have my coffee, okay? Because my tea takes too long to brew. And I was really just excited about miking up. In fact, I was so excited about recording this podcast that I sat down and didn't even have my mic yet. And I was like, bitch, if you don't get it together. But welcome. You're probably watching this on YouTube. You might be listening to this on the old Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcast stuff. But I'm currently getting more into the video editing stuff. I'm getting more confident in my craft. It just takes me a little bit of time to get there. And I've always been hung up on this, like, you have to, if you don't have training for something, you shouldn't even try to do it. I don't know why I have like where that got programmed into me, but at some point in time it did. And so now I'm like undoing that programming. But let me turn more this way. There we go. So I just got a really weird vision of how my podcast and slash my video, whatever the fuck this is gonna be, my video series, my video diary series. We don't know yet. But I just got a vision of it as I turn more towards my computer because normally when I talk and like when I'm doing TikToks, like Snapchats or anything like that, or even like when I'm doing like an Instagram situation, a Facebook situation, a Discord, I mean, literally anywhere where you can like be on social media, the Afro Goddess is. And so I'm not normally that confident when it comes to, and this is me just being honest about posting content because I'm undoing this programming of people don't want to hear what I have to say, when in reality they do. It was just the people in my environment didn't want to hear what I had to say. And so that is something that I'm learning and unprogramming for myself. And so as I turned, I'm like, oh, weird. Like I literally feel like this is just going to be a fun little series on my YouTube where it's just me being me and me just speaking about some of the things that I go through, some of the things that I've healed from, some of the things that I am healing from, some of the just day in the life of the Afro Goddess type content, healing from adoption content, pretty much my entire life, and snapshots is pretty much how I want to be able to express myself on my YouTube. One of the biggest reasons why I started this YouTube channel was because I wanted a place to house a lot of my spiritual content and a lot of my like day-to-day content and things that were going on and some of the things that I was experiencing in the collective as I was going through my ascension journey. And that's why I tried to put it on different platforms. So I didn't know yet and I wasn't confident in my skill set. Like I was saying earlier, how I'm feeling a lot more confident. I wasn't confident in my skill set yet to be like, I can edit a whole video and put it together and like do all the things and stuff. And I've never had training for that before, but yet my content on social media is pretty decent. If I would just really focus on it and like say fuck everybody outside of myself right now and really go ham, I feel like I could create some dope ass content. And as I turned, I got this like snapshot. This actually has only happened to me a couple of times, when in my life that I can remember, where I got an image of something and I either drew it out. Actually, that's usually what happens. It's like an image of something and I draw out like just like a vision board, a mood board type situation. Speaking of, I think I have that on my calendar coming up here. Anyway, um, where those events actually played out in real time. And it wasn't like that same moment that I got the flash. It was within, I would say months. The first one was when I was driving home from the salon that I was working at, which was my own little suite. And I was coming home to my apartment. Actually, no, it was not my apartment. It was my now ex's house. And I was driving underneath the viaduct, underneath the interstate, and I got this snap. Like, it was disruptive when I was driving. Like, that was when I knew that the vessel and the spirit are two different things. That was when I got that confirmation. I kind of already had like this weird inclination because when I was a child, I had some weird experiences like that where I knew I was like, why would I fucking choose this body? That was weird. And so, and this body that came with these circumstances, like that's also very weird, you know? And so I've had those experiences when I was a kid, and then I had that experience when I was driving. And so I went home and I drew out the image that I got and like the color scheme, like literally everything, like down to where the neon signs were going to be, what they were going to say, where the bathrooms were, where the facial room was, where the break room was, and the mixing studio, like to the shampoo bowls, the vanities and shit. Like everything was exactly the same. The only thing that was different from my vision to their renderings was where the bathroom and the facial room was located. They were they were switched around. And when I drew it out and it came to fruition, it was fucking weird because actually when I came to walk through the salon with the people that invited me to go work there with them, I didn't know I was gonna be walking through that location. I went to the old location. And so they showed me the renderings at that location, and then the next time we met up, we went over there to go look at it. And I remember bringing it to that first meetup, and they're like, "Have you seen the space?" And I'm like, "No. Like, why would I? How could I? Like, I don't even like fuck with y'all like that. Like, it's just very weird that I like have my own personalized drawings where I have my own colored pencils, coloring them in, shading it in, drawing it. That's my artwork. And y'all have professional renderings. How the fuck would I have even known and seen and gotten? How? Let me know." Obviously, I didn't come with that energy, but I was thinking, I'm like, we met up today. How would I? And then you guys told me today. You weren't planning on telling anyone today that you're hiring, bringing in, not hiring, bringing onto your team. And so that was the first experience that I had. The second spirit experience was when I was in Sedona. And that's when the rest of the gifts continued to come online. And I hadn't had that confirmed yet. Um, and I didn't know I just like went and did the whole thing. Well, then when I was in Sedona is when after I had started working in the salon downtown. And looking back at it, honestly, there were some red flags that I probably didn't need to go there, but I did anyways because there's some lessons apparently I needed to learn when I was there. Anyways, but moral of the story is that I needed a place to house my spiritual content and just my day-to-day content as I'm like coming to my own and using my throat chakra and unlocking some of the things. I actually recorded a podcast last night that I'm going to finish recording, I think either tonight or tomorrow about um, relationships and how your first relationships in your lifetime that you experience, that's your parents and your siblings and your aunts and uncles and your grandparents and stuff, um, how they really do a number on you. And how if you don't really truly heal from that, you end up experiencing that in different ways in friendships or romantic dynamics or professional dynamics or all of the above. And I found that really interesting. Um, and so I recorded that last night. Well, today, my intention was to talk about how we gaslight ourselves as well. And that was kind of the episode last night as well. But it's funny because I had a whole intention of talking about something when I came on here, and now I'm talking about something completely different, but kind of the same. I was gaslighting myself out of experiencing something new. Like, dude, I've always wanted to be able to have a YouTube channel. I've always wanted to be able to have a podcast. I've always wanted to have some of these things where I was going to be able to have my own platform and talk about some of the things that I deserve to release because my family didn't want to hear what I had to say and didn't want to be accountable for how their actions affected their children. They gaslit their children. My siblings know that our parents are not emotionally available. The crazy thing is that they're still doing the same shit they're doing now as they were younger, when we were younger, which is fine for them. But at what point in time am I going to get off the roller coaster? My dad still hates his wife, his new wife. My older brother hates his girlfriend. My mom is still by herself, financially carrying the family. So at one point in time, I'm gonna be like, yo, y'all are still on the same fucking train. I'm gonna go ahead and get off at this stop right here. And then when you guys come back around, we'll just see where y'all are at, who's getting off this time. But unfortunately, we're still on the train, all of us. And so my hope is that when I relocate, it gets me off the train because being in proximity to these people here, if I don't want to do something, the amount of shame that and guilt they put out, they won't even say anything. And not all the time. Let me not lie. Let me not lie. They won't always say like people, people, people. They'll say it in a way that like will make you feel shitty. Like you're always working. You need to find time to rest. How are you working on a holiday? Not everyone celebrates these holidays, fam. And these aren't even holidays. These are fake. Y'all have just fallen victim to the programming. But if I don't want to participate, then I'm causing trouble. I'm being selfish. You can just put that aside. We don't get to see the family very often. See, the thing that irritates me is that when the black sheep of the family, the scapegoated person of the family, decides that they want to do something for themselves because what is going on that they've been forced to, go along with has never resonated with them. And at no point in time did the family or the friend circle or whatever group of peers you have around you at that time, they never stopped to really truly consider how their actions were honestly affecting you, how their actions were affecting you because you saw everything that was going on. And just because you witnessed it, you didn't always have the opportunity to say anything. In fact, most of the time, you didn't even know what you were seeing, but you saw it, right? And so now let's think in our adult life. We're still are the children, we still have our inner child with us all the time. So there's a lot of times that we're experiencing things in friendships or in conversations in professional dynamics in peer dynamics where you don't know what the fuck you saw, but it doesn't sit right in your spirit. You don't know what you heard, but it doesn't sit right in your spirit. But our inner child has a hard time speaking on the things that we saw because our inner child still has no idea. Like, we saw something that didn't feel right because children come here with this innate sense of knowing right and wrong, good and bad, all the things. And so they have this innate sense. What happens is they get tainted along their development because the people that they chose as their parents also have a tainted skew of right and wrong because of their programming, because we've never allowed children to teach us. We've never, and when I say teach us, I know people are gonna be like, bitch, that's why they're children, because they're supposed to be taught. No. It's like having a dog. Now follow me with this analogy. You don't get a dog to beat this dog into submission. This dog is coming to be your friend. This dog is coming to be your companion. When you go to train your dog, what you're doing is you're not only training the dog, but you're training yourself. So let's put this into the perspective of having children. Having children is an opportunity for you to go back and heal yourself in those areas of your life that you needed that type of parenting that you as an adult can now offer. You became the parent that your child needed, that you needed. And a lot of us get hung up in this egotistical sense of parenthood, and y'all think that y'all know right from wrong when your child, who's truly the closest thing to God that comes into this plane, knows right and wrong, knows good from bad. Sorry, guys. I was having some technical difficulties with my mic, and it said my mic was disconnected, and I was like, and no, it's not, because this is an important conversation. Y'all need to hear this. Where were we at? Now, my situation is a little bit different because I'm adopted. And so a lot of the things that I saw in my environment were things that automatically just didn't sit right in my spirit because these aren't really my people. But then also in the same breath, because these aren't really my people, I didn't come from their lineage. A lot of the things that, see, this is what's interesting. A lot of the things that your biological children will overlook, your adopted children or your foster children will not. I'm going to say that again. A lot of the things that your biological children will overlook, your foster children or your adopted children will not. Your adopted children will not be able to overlook that. Most of the time with your adopted children, they will be able to, over time, learn how to sweep some of your fuckery under the rug to survive. The foster children, however, do not get that luxury because, see, they're always in a different state of fight or flight. Foster children are like the rabbits and the prey animals of the animal kingdom. They're always on high alert because they're the first ones to get picked off in the family dynamic. They're pushed away to other people. They are like the rejects of the children's world. They are the rejects of society. And a lot of the times, these people who end up foster because of the money, but then also they foster because there's some emptiness inside that they think this someone else is, they play these roles that they don't even realize these children can't fulfill for you. They have a whole other mission. And the thing that I find interesting is that y'all think that because you can give that foster child, that adopted child, the same love you're giving your biological children, that's going to make up for the shit that they were lacking before. In reality, it's not. In fact, it's going to shine a light on your deficits. It's going to shine a light on where your ego has taken over. Because, see, blood, that's why I say blood is thicker than water, because blood will overlook what blood is doing a lot of the times for a longer period of time than the water will. Because, see, eventually oil and water will separate. They cannot mix. They can live side by side, but they don't mix. You can shake it up, but they still separate, you know? And that's how blood and water are. Your adopted child, your foster child is the water. Your children that you've birthed are your blood, obviously. And so a lot of the times and now I don't have children, but I'm studying for when I do have children. A lot of the times what happens is when we go through parenthood and we enter into this new hood, right? We enter into this new hood with a sense of accomplishment, a sense of pride, and a sense of ego. When we're not looking at the circumstances surrounding us entering the hood, a lot of the times we're entering that hood unconsciously, and then you're bringing a karmic child into this world. The difference between bringing your own karmic child into this world and adopting a karmic child are very different. Now, see, karma is karma is karma is karma. You can't escape karma. So if you bring a karmic child into your home times two, then you have to be even more equipped times four per child, so times eight in total, to be able to be equipped with the needs that these karmatic beings are going to need to help break that karma. Because what your job is as the parent is to make sure that these beings are ready to enter in society so they can fulfill their role. What's extremely disheartening is I see on social media parents shitting on teachers when the teachers are like, y'all have to help enforce what we're teaching here. Because when they go home, they regress so much because they're left to their own devices. The parents give them devices. They're learning on devices. Ain't nobody teaching these babies how to read and write except for at school. And they have how many other subjects that they're forced to learn that make no relevance to their adult addition to society. And these parents, they're saying the craziest shit. It's extremely concerning. Y'all don't care that that your children are reading at a third grade level in high school, in middle school. Y'all don't care. You honestly think it's solely the teacher's job? See, this is how fucked up society is. This isn't even a black or white issue. It's not, it's in on my channel, it's never going to be a black or white issue. Sometimes there might be some things that are clearly black and white issues, but in totality, this one is not one of them. Community, tribe mentality, the idea of oneness. Let's talk about that for a second. Because if you think about what these people are doing and they're saying in the social medias, they're really exposing their asses. Let me just make sure I'm not shouting because I don't want to be up here shouting in my own house and fucking waking up everybody that doesn't even live here. Okay, I'm good. Anyway, so the tribe. Okay. The amount of weight that parents have on themselves to raise these beings to be contributing members of society, to be contributing functioning members of the tribe so they're not ostracized, shunned, and removed from the tribe is a lot. That's why they have other people in the community to help them do that thing. It also is up to the parents to reinforce what the fuck is going on in the community because when they go home to their household, they also have to be programmed with everything else that's going to be necessary to keep the tribe safe, functional, and moving forward. And so it is your job to help your child learn how to read and write. Because before we had external teachers, it was just fucking us and a few other people in the tribe that could help do what they're supposed to do. Not everyone knew how to read and write in the tribe. So chances are, if you were sending your child to go get a higher education than what you got, then again, I say, the opportunity for you to reparent comes in the way of your children. Like, how much more obvious does that need to be? I feel like if we could remove the ego, if we could remove the ego and be like, damn, I absolutely do not know everything when it comes down to parenthood. I do not know what's best for this child because I'm not that child. I do not know what bloop 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 needs. I'm here to provide their main um needs, and then you use your spiritual discernment to be able to fill in the blanks because you're teaching your child how to express themselves properly and controlled. Our job as the parents in the household is to teach them how to control the things that they're learning out in society and what they're learning in themselves and in the home. If I'm not teaching you how to control and how to contribute and how to interact with people and then integrate the things that you're learning, I'm not doing a very good job as a parent because now you're going to go out there in society unequipped for the real world. A lot of us are out here in the world unequipped, and that's contributing to where a lot of the crime is happening. I mean, how many more studies do we have to show that? Now, let's continue to break this down a little bit more. Now, as your children get older and they start to wise up to some of the things that they experienced in their childhood and some of the things that they witnessed in their childhood and some of the things that they received in their childhood, you have to be equipped with the fact that the bad memories need to be expressed before any of the good memories can really truly be expressed outwardly. We know there's a lot of good that happened in our childhood. Unfortunately, the amount of bad has shrouded the amount of good. That's one of the things that I've recognized that my adoptive mother has an issue with, or struggle, not an issue with, well, kind of. She struggles with the how you express things because she's never expressed herself. That's one of my biggest resentments towards her, that she's never stood up for herself. She never expressed herself. And the dynamic with my father, not my biological, my adoptive father. And she's got walked all over, you know? And so I witnessed that by literally everyone walking all over her all the fucking time. And she gives and she gives and she gives and she gives, and ain't nobody want to give back to her at all. But see, she's teaching people how to treat her based off of how she treats her. And I've had to learn from watching her. That's one of the biggest reasons why I incarnated into this family, because there's been so many times where the wool has been taken over my eyes because I love, because I genuinely want y'all to do good, because I want y'all to be able to come to the top with me. I don't want to be up there by my motherfucking self. That's why they say this lonely at the top, because not everyone really has what it takes to get there. Because there's a lot of ego that needs to be shed away. There's a lot of fuckery that needs to be shed away. There's a lot of accountability that needs to be taken before you can even get to the top, because you can't get there and even maintain your place there if you have baggage. It's too heavy. It's going to actually weigh you down and knock you from the top floor. A lot of these agencies, I wanted to add this too, a lot of these agencies, foster care associations, things of that nature, have people that are in there that are not emotionally intelligent. And so what they're looking for is the financial means. It's almost, again, it's like a fucking dog. When you want to rescue a dog, they're going to send people out to come evaluate your home to see if you're a good option for this fucking dog. And they're only going to look at what they see on the outside. They don't actually truly go inward and like do the true digging. Bitch, it should take you multiple years to be able to even be qualified to adopt a child, let alone birth one. Because what is coming on the inside is not going to be coming out on the outside. And if you have all that shit that's repressed and undealt with, your child you're birthing, your business idea you're birthing, the new location you want to move to, anything that you're trying to do to break that cycle, if you haven't truly dealt with that and sat in that and realized all the things and stuff, it's not going to be any different than anything that you're experiencing. In fact, it's going to be worse because now you have to do more work to undo the things that you should have done before you had even had this fucking child. Your children will always test your gangster. And if you haven't dealt with that inner gangster, then guess what's going to happen? It's going to come out and wreak havoc. End up gangbanging your motherfucking self. Emotionally, spiritually, professionally, financially. And then you inflict that same stuff onto your children that you're actively seeking to bring into your home. And you have the audacity to tell them to calm down. White people, let's have this conversation. You're adopting black people. This is one of the only few times that I'm going to say this is a black and white issue. You're bringing a black, brown, indigenous child into your home. There's no reflection of that child, that culture anywhere at all in your household whatsoever, in your family lineage whatsoever. You hold no respect or regard for the fact that trauma happened in that community whatsoever. You still have this white savior complex in you, thinking that you can give that melanated child a better existence than someone in their own community could, when most of the time you're inflicting more trauma in them spiritually because of what you represent as a white person. We know what happened to our people through y'all and your lineage. That's why y'all have the innate sense to adopt these black and brown children, because you're trying to make up for the fuckery that your ancestors inflicted on us. The reality is that you're now triggering that child to feel even more unsafe with you. And then when these things arise because they're having these outbursts, these emotional and spiritual outbursts, because these needs are not getting met and these things are being brought up to be released, y'all have the audacity to call the police on your own children who you sought out. You didn't even birth them. You literally flew across the world to adopt these children just to call the popo on them. The fuck's wrong with y'all? For fucking real. What is wrong with you people? And you wonder why when they grow up, they don't want to come the fuck home. Because y'all scapegoat them because you're not prepared to deal with a melanated child. That's going to test all of your programming that you have never dealt with. Y'all say as adults, well, I have black friends, I have black coworkers. That's great. You fucking should, because we were here first. But also, that does not absolve you from your racist programming that you received in your earlier years. And now you're going to take that out on that poor child who already has to live in a society that's discarding them, not advocating for them. And most of the time, you have other children already. And so they're coming into a dynamic where they can see how you're treating your natural born children. And y'all have the audacity and the caucasity to lie in their face and say, I love you all the same. Bitch, no, you don't. You tolerate my existence. That's what you do. You tolerate my existence because now you realize you're in over your head and fuck. You can't just return this child, bitch. You want to know, my mom said there's no humane society for children. There is. It's called an orphanage. But also, what? Which one of your children are you referring that's going to be relevant for? There's three of us. Is it my older brother who was the most troubled? Is it me who was mouthy as fuck but always underneath your nose? Never physically got into trouble? I was just mouthy. I talked back a lot. I really did. But also, we'll unpack that later. My younger brother, who's also very troubled and has gotten his shit together for 1 year, right? Like he's been together for 1 year, almost two. He's running his second year. He's gotten his shit together. He's 27. See, when parents say, I have friends that are like, I love my kids the same. No, you fucking don't. Because I hear how you talk to your children. I hear how, and I see how you treat your children. You don't treat them, not every single, my friends treats their kids bad, but like, um, but I can tell you have a different love for different children. The love limit might be the same, but the love is not the same. See, there's a difference there. You may have the mother's love for all your children, but you do not like all of your children. You may love all of your children the same, which we know is not true because I don't even love my siblings the same. And people are like, well, I forgot it's different because you don't have kids. It's not fucking different. It's still a human. See, there needs to be this healthy sense of detachment. And maybe this is where it's different for adopted children because we have been detached from an early age. And so we learn detachment in the womb. I'll unpack that in a different episode. But the goal is to be a vehicle to get your children from point A to point B. You do not own your children. Your children do not owe you anything. If they choose to take care of you in your later years, excuse me, it's because of the pure goodness of their heart and they spiritually feel called to. They don't owe you shit. Now, I'm not letting my family go to no nursing home. I'm gonna tell you that right now. So I'm doing my due diligence so I can make sure that I'm putting them in my home in their own little space in my space, okay, on my property with their own care team and all things and stuff at that point in time. I don't gotta be personally deal with them straight up, but I also know that they'll be well taken care of. Anyways, children are not meant to just be seen and not heard. If you have that mentality and you're telling your child to calm down and we're going to deal with you when they're calm, that's why I was so mouthy because my family had a big, they still do have a big ego, a big, big ego. And that's one of the biggest issues that I found because the ego is so large that no one can get through to them. They refuse to let anyone through to them. In fact, they hide behind the guise of Christianity, but the reality is that they're atheists. They're non-believers. And if they do say they're believers, they're not believing in true God, in the true one God because they're not acting like that. They're still preaching and listening to divisive shit. They're still under the comfort and the false sense of safety of the patriarchy. They're not in in the need to want to ascend past this plane and the programmings of this plane. They are fine staying stagnant, going to a little church, doing the same little sermons, not really truly listening to the message and putting it out there in every single day life. They don't, the selfishness that my family actually holds is insane. Like, and it's not even in a way where it's like taking from someone else for themselves. It's like, it's more covert than that. It's like, you don't get to really have it's almost like you have to think like a dictatorship. You have to think, move, and operate how the family does, and if you don't, then you're treated badly. You're questioned. Well, are you really for this family and for the longevity? Then just fucking go to the family event. No. You can't be yourself in the family. You have to be prim, proper, and aesthetically pleasing. But they don't care about what's going on emotionally and spiritually. In fact, they're so tapped out emotionally, they don't want other people in the family to be emotionally intelligent because that shines a light on where they lack. And so they have put the ego in the place of their heart. And their ego is telling them that they're right and everyone is wrong. And because this person is having an emotional outburst in their eyes, no one talk to them, ignore them until they're calm. And then when we're able to approach them, because they don't have to have any emotion outwardly pouring, and I don't have to use my emotional intelligence, which they did not possess and do not possess, now it's safe for them to approach you with the problem that they created. Are you following me? See, I'm a very passionate person, and if you have me feeling some type of way, I'm going to tell you you have me feeling some type of way. And I'm not going to do it in a way that's going to corner you, point you out, single you out, but I'm going to let you know, yo, that made like what you said it, how you delivered it. I don't like that. Because I'm standing up for myself, people think that that is confrontational. And it's not. It's me having a boundary. For example, I was fucking dead asleep. When I got home, when I was sleeping last night, my freaking neighbor, her children were bouncing around at fucking 11:30, 12:30 at fucking night. Woke me up again. And I waited and I tried to go back to sleep. I tried to do it. And I said something before and nothing happened and I got gaslit. I'm not doing that shit anymore. Y'all can fuck off and be respectful of other people because what we are saying matters. Whenever I'd say something to my family, well, turn a fan on or something, get some white noise, turn some music on so you don't have to hear the shit. That's not the point. The point is that there's other people that live here that you need to be respectful. The point is that you have to consider how other people are feeling when you're existing around them. Because it's not just about you when you coexist with people. It's one thing if you live by yourself, then yes, it is about you. But even still then, you have to be aware of the other people around you. If you're not aware of the other people around you and how your actions inadvertently affect other people, even if you don't talk to them, your energy affects other people. Now you're teaching your children that, to not respect other people. That's why I can't hang around you. That's why I don't call you, talk to you, text you, reach out to you, because I have realized since I started speaking up for myself that you're just like my fucking family, who I don't vibe with on purpose because of the same things. I'm not valued in those areas. And now my adoptive mother is seeing how intelligent I truly am and how motivated I truly am and how capable I truly am and how spiritually attuned I truly am and how I'm not afraid to sacrifice my attendance to family events for my sense of peace. I don't need to be at every single birthday dinner. I don't need to be at every single one of your guys' events and holidays because every time I go, I feel like I'm overlooked. Nobody fucking cares that I'm there. Y'all care about everybody else that's there. Why the fuck would I go when I'm an afterthought? Y'all have proven that to me over and over and over and over and over again. My family has, people who have chosen to call my family as an adult, people who are no longer my friends, y'all think of me as an afterthought, but only when shit's going wrong in your life. Well, this person can gives great advice, and I'm only going to use and utilize them when I'm going through something. But when they're going through something, heaven forbid I show up for them. My shit that I go through isn't nearly as large as the shit that y'all put me through continually. including my family. And then y'all talk trash about me, about how I'm a gossiper, how I can't keep a secret, how I'm over dramatic, over emotional, over this, over that extra. When I just know my fucking worth. And I'm worth and I'm valued more than what you see me as. And just because you don't value me doesn't mean that I'm going to value me any fucking less. See, it's crazy because y'all don't know how to take care of your shit. So, you don't know how to take care of your own stuff. Why would you take care of a diamond that was given to you for free as your sister, as your friend? You don't value the things that you purchase yourself. Y'all don't even value the things that are given to you for free. Y'all value monetary blessings that come in the way of pleasing the world. That has never resonated with me. In fact, a lot of the things that people say, they're like, this is what we were doing, this, that, and the third. I wasn't doing any of those things. I wasn't talking to any of those deities. I wasn't calling up any of these people or things at all. Because I know who I work for. I work for God, the one and only God. I always have. I always will. And every time started to speak out for myself when I was younger and even as an adult, I wasn't confident in my connection to God. Now I'm like replaying some of the experiences that I've had. One of them in particular, when I did DMT, I did DMT one time. And that's what I learned. No earthly body is going to be able to love you in the way that the ultimate creator is going to be able to love you and is loving you. No one on this plane. And so after I remembered that recently, I'm like, wow, I really, truly feel that. Because every single time that I put my love into an earthly body, it has always reminded me why I should put it to God first. Because the people who I was putting my love in don't have the same intentions that I have. They don't have the same motivations that I have. My motivation is to serve God first, serve my purpose first, and then anyone else from there is a benefit. They get that blessing, but I have to go to God first. Even when I'm pulling my oracle cards, I go to God first before I pull the oracle cards. I don't go to anybody else. I don't even go to my ancestors first. I go to God first. I always have. I'm confident and I can stand 10 toes down on that because that's one thing that has never wavered. Even when I have books on other deities. I have books on other religions, other spiritualities, other practices. But I read that so I know it's out there. But that doesn't change where my motives are, which is God. Period. Like, that's so on period, but like, when I edit this, I'm going to literally put a big giant period somewhere on the screen. Probably like right here or something. Beep, right there. But that's why I need to be better at listening to my spirit because my spirit is always getting direction from God. If someone's telling, even when I was a kid, I should have been better at listening to that, even though it would have gotten me into trouble with my parents even more. But I was listening to my ultimate parents. And so at the end of the day, if God is telling me to do this, tell me that I'm not supposed to be doing this, that you guys are wrong, and this is what God's telling me to do because it's going to benefit this amount of people and not just you, then I have to do that. That means I'm grounded for a month because I had to go and do this event. So fucking be it. That means I'm grounded for a month because I didn't do X, Y, and Z because I had to go do this, something, third. Then so fucking be it. But it's not for me to carry the judgment of other people. It's not for me to be responsible for other people's happiness. It's not for me to be responsible for other people's karma. If you're choosing to not do something and you're putting it on your child to get it done for you, then you're literally choosing to bypass your karma and it's going to come back to you times 10. Why do you think my dad hates his second wife? Why do you think my mom isn't choosing to be in a relationship? She says she's open, but she's not going to go look for it. That's fine. No one needs to be in a relationship. I'm not in one. But the reasons I'm not in one are different than why she's not in one. She doesn't want to be in one because she doesn't want to be someone's baggage. So you haven't even started loving yourself yet. Because if you did, you wouldn't see yourself as baggage. I'm not in a relationship because I haven't healed from all my traumas yet to make me safe option to be in a relationship. I offer a lot, but I also need to heal through a lot before I can even be in a functioning relationship because I don't want to mimic anything else. I'm going to learn my lessons and I'm going to heal from them. And then when it's time, the relationship and the opportunities and my relocation will all happen. Me recording and posting this shit is a step in that direction. My dad hates his wife because he hasn't dealt with the fact that he witnessed his parents being in an unloving relationship. It probably started out loving. He's the first child. That's how my older brother is too. He saw my parents in a stage of their relationship where they tolerated each other. They didn't love each other as much as they did when they first got married, but they tolerated each other more. And so he saw the relationship go from loving for a long time, and then all of a sudden it was just done. My dad's the same way. He witnessed the same thing. My grandparents are still married, but it's a very unhealthy marriage. It's very much a trauma bond, but anyways. So my dad hates his wife because he doesn't like himself. He's one of those people that should not be married. And same thing with his wife. See, this is her first marriage, and she got married very, 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 very late. So her lesson also is about self-worth. You don't have to succumb to the rules of society. You don't have to be married to someone to live a great life. Especially when you're getting into, that last few decades of your life, from 60s to the 90s, last few decades. That's why I said that last 3, 4 decades. You're lucky to make it to 100. But that's why people think that they're like, I need to get married. If I'm not married, I need to cuff someone because I don't want to be alone when I die. Well, guess what? You're probably going to have more people around you when you die without a partner next to you than you would if you would have died with a partner next to you. Because you go out of your way to maintain your friendships when you're not with a partner, your relationships, acquaintances. You want to make new friends, meet new people. And so every single life that you have the ability to affect because you aren't tied down to someone is even greater. Now, if you have a partner that's still loving enough of themselves that they allow you to roam freely, obviously, like when I say roam freely, I mean be able to affect people in a positive way. Where they're not like, you have to be home every single night. I need dinner on the table at this time. I need you to be this, and this all the time when I'm home. And then when I'm not home, which is very limited hours, then you can do what you want to. That's not what love is. That's not what a relationship is. A relationship is we both want to incite change in the community together, in the world together, and we can do that by us joining forces together, and our love is going to be able to XYZ. Our commitment to each other is going to XYZ. It is purely based off of where you are vibrationally. If you're trying to force a relationship, then that isn't the vibrationally aligned relationship. It's just not. There shouldn't be this. this is what we do next, and then get married. That's not how it works. And then if you see that as a child and you witness that second, not right away, obviously, because you weren't created, maybe you were, but anyway, it's not the point. The the repercussions of that down the family line are a lot greater. And then when you adopt a child that comes from a lineage of that and you don't even know that true history, you're taking the shit into your home that is now going to magnify that child's experience. And you haven't done your own motherfucking work to ensure that child's not going to repeat the same shit. Are you following me? Being a parent, being in a relationship, platonic, romantic, whatever, takes the ultimate amount of accountability. People want to push their accountability off onto other people because it's more comfortable. No one wants to accept that their actions affected someone in a negative way. We only want our actions to affect people in a positive way. But when we're told that nope, it didn't have a positive effect, it actually had the opposite effect, no one, you don't want to hear that. No, I don't even want to hear that. But I have to be accountable for that, you know? And so the accountability level that needs to be taken is a lot greater than what people are really willing to take. It's like the truth. No one wants to be told the truth. They say they do, but they actually want to be lied to. They want to be told the delusional version of the truth. I call it the delulu truth. People want to say delulu. And so when you're a person that innately just tells the truth, and then I have to lie to you, and you catch me in a lie, maybe it's time for you to consider why people have to lie to you. There's a level of safety that you don't possess. Especially because if you can see me being truthful with everybody else around you and you're not getting that, that means you are the problem. Same thing if you're a parent. If you can see your child being truthful with the other parent, being truthful with the siblings, with their grandparents, and they can't tell you the truth, they can't be open and honest with you, maybe it's time for you to sit in reflection. Because really what's going on is that child's spirit is telling you, yo, there's work that needs to be done. This is a flag. This is a red flag. Hey, this needs to be worked on because this is why I'm here, is for you to work on that. If you're still not working on that and you're not a safe person for that child to go to, they're going to find someone else to go to feel safe. And they may be searching and searching and searching and searching and searching. You can find that in how they choose relationships, how they choose friendships. And all the while you're sitting there wondering, like, why did they choose that person? Why would they? That's a red flag because it's a reflection of you. They're trying to find and replace you. But the ego is a gnarly thing. The ego tells us, well, they lied, so that means they have to be in trouble for lying. I got to teach them a lesson. But the lesson is you are the one who is unsafe for them to tell the truth. The truth is you are the problem. The truth is they don't trust you to tell you the truth. They told you a different version of the truth. So then you found out the actual whole truth and you told them that they lied. When the reality is they didn't lie. They just didn't tell you every single detail because you're unsafe. Same thing in friendships. And so this safety that these people are looking for, people like myself, is something that I now have been learning lies between me and God. And the more I learn that, the more aligned people will come and meet up with me. And vice versa, I'll meet up with them. The more aligned I am with myself, the more aligned you are with yourself, the more 10 toes down you know you are in your relationship with you and God, the more aligned we are. Because 9 times out of 10, what it is that we individually want to accomplish aligns with each other. We offer something that would be able to create a whole community. and have a space where people can actually come and feel safe. Hmm. And so when we go through and we can sit and look at our actions, and we can sit and allow ourselves to really dissect what it is that our spirit's telling us about people that we're surrounding ourselves with, what the people's energy is, that and how it's playing with our energy. Are they not telling us the truth? Are they pushing us away? What is it about us that's making them feel unsafe, and vice versa? Then we can really get to the root of the problem and really unpack some of these things where we can be better friends with ourselves. We can be better friends with people around us. We can be in better partnerships that are divinely aligned, where we're not trying to control what everyone is doing, thinking, and doing spiritually, emotionally, financially, because spiritual abuse happens first before anything else manifests in the physical. Spiritual abuse isn't always the same thing. And that's a whole different episode. And I think that's really where I'm going to cut it off. Yeah, that feels right. I'm going to end this episode. So, thank you guys for tuning in. I really don't even know I'm going to call this episode yet. I'm going to watch it back and just see what the situation is. But I am super excited. I think this is going to be my first video of healing for adoption and some of my observations of just some of my lively observations, maybe is what I'm going to call it. I don't know, bitch. We'll figure it out. But thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for tapping in. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys received the message, because I feel like I touched on a lot of random things, to be honest with you. And yeah, there's another version of this on my podcast on I actually use Anchor to record that one, but it's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and you can also download the Anchor app. Otherwise, you can vibe with me here on YouTube, so like, follow, subscribe, turn your notifications on as well. I'm not always going to be doing long episodes like this. I'll be doing little random blips of things like that, and just different TikTok clips that I feel like are important and relevant as well. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time on the Afro Goddess Speaks Her Truth, the YouTube version. Actually, I'm not even settled on that name yet, but this is the Afro Goddess channel. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time, y'all. Have an amazing, blessed, fantastically beautiful day. Stay open to new opportunities. Stay open to unexpected miracles. Stay blessed up. Stay prayed up. Love yourself more than you love anything outside of yourself first, and everything else is going to align. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you next time.